You might be thinking, ooh, plans changing. That sounds really exciting. That sounds interesting. Well, you're right.
Oh my god, that sounds so bad.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, we're going to be talking about how our plans and decision making has changed from before we met each other to now. They've changed a lot, from future plans to plans coming up next week. There's daily decisions you got to make that you always need to consider. Your loving partner sitting across from me, not yours, mine. Yeah, let's get into it. If you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. If you don't use those, we are on YouTube. We got a live show now. Got some amazing video, side by side action shots of us. Please leave us a review on whatever you're listening to us on. It kind of gives us a bit more insight on how we're doing. We are always looking to improve. We want to bring better content. We want to keep all you lovely listeners satisfied. So let's get into it, baby.
We have other talks to talk about. Woohoo!
We got some big changes coming.
Oh yes, we do.
Exciting changes.
Yes. Yeah, we're talking about plans today and how plans change. And God laughs at your plans because really we can plan and plan and plan, but He has a plan for all of us.
I'm sure Kobe had a plan for his daughter.
Probably did. It's really sad.
Yeah.
She was gonna be like his
Prodigy.
yeah, prodigy. That's the word I was thinking of.
Yeah. But yeah, it is true though. You just got to go with the flow at a certain point. You can plan so much and like work towards the future, but
God has other plans for us. So
yeah.
But it's still good to plan, and I think it's still good to it's good to plan without the idea of that plan being set in stone and not having your mindset to where that is exactly how everything's going to go and exactly how everything's going to happen. Because before we both met each other, we both had our individual plans. Am I right? Or am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I had drastically different plans from where I thought I'd be now. Did not think I'd have a girlfriend. Do not think I'd be living at home still, and did not think I'd be working at a vape shop. Essentially,
what were your initial plans before
to be
you
a
met me?
software developer, get into gaming pretty much any way I possibly could. That's why I got into software development, is just because of video games. I love video games. Not so much as I used to, but yeah, I right before I met you, I was working on doing gaming tournaments because I noticed that competitive gaming got really popular, or it was getting popular. It was coming on ESPN, Jack in the Box, Bud Light, I think it was T-Mobile. They sponsor professional teams.
Oh,
A game that I like specifically. There's plenty of other massive worldwide things, but it's getting more of a US presence for sure.
Do they sponsor Overwatch?
Yeah.
Wow.
Overwatch is the shit. We're going August, what is it, 8th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
When I mentioned to my supervisor that you play Overwatch, he was like, yeah, my son's been over that for years now. It's kind of whatever. And I was like, okay,
yeah, it's a trend, dude.
Calm down.
I brought it up to my buddy Will, and he kind of said the same shit. And I'm just like, bitch, it's fun. You play League of Legends. That game's been out for 10 years, and it's the same shit, but it's still fun. So
you just find your thing that you really, really like, and you stick with it.
Exactly.
So.
But yeah, my plans are just to get into gaming. I didn't really care so much about the money as far as just really having a career in gaming. And I thought it would blossom into a lot of money, but I wasn't really much of the driver for it. But now, yeah, mainly, even then too, before meeting you, it was just getting into gaming and just wanting to get a place by myself. Didn't care where, as long as I could have a big ass TV, a freaking sick ass computer setup, all that shiz with a Z.
So even if it was down the street, you didn't care as long as it was all to yourself.
Shoot, if I could afford down the street, I'd be stoked. But yeah, I didn't really care. I didn't have a preference. But yeah, and then I met you.
And everything changed.
Yeah, for the better, for sure. Yeah, what about you?
I think when you make plans, I always my plans were more of I'm going to be independent. I'm not going to have a man in my life. I'm not going to like plan around family or, somebody else. And you make plans specifically for yourself. Like for me, it was like, I was, planning on being in LA for a long time and, starting my career there, which I kind of have and I kind of haven't. I've started, I've been working in LA for 5 years, almost 5 years now. And yeah, like I saw myself just like my plan was to stay there until I can like, either be a published author or have, one of my, have a published script, something like that, anything like that. And so, not that those specific plans have changed or goals have changed, but now when I think of that stuff and I think about like my work, I'm thinking about like not just for myself, but for about you, because you are part of my plans now. And yeah, you no longer think independently for yourself. Like it's no longer, Jackie's on her own and gonna be an independent woman. Although
No,
I
you
can be.
I want you to be.
I can be an independent woman.
Like
But
for definitely, like you had that mindset, and that's what your parents had for you too a little bit. When you first moved in, your dad was like, your job is to take care of her and do this and that. And I was like, I kind of disagree. I feel like my job is to make sure she's just happy and she's good
that's taking care
and
of
safe.
me.
Well, like, but theirs were their mind was like, why does she have to be doing all this driving? Like, you should go out there to her and make sure that, you accommodate her entirely, which I'm trying to do. But it felt more of like, I need to just make enough money to where you don't really need to do, like, I could support you entirely, which like right now, there's no way. Like I want to be able to do that, but like he made it seem like right now you should be able to do that, or like you should like pretty much do everything you possibly can right now to make sure you can entirely support her no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, like that means I just drop everything I want. Like I've been trying to do, and
Well, that's a whole other topic that we can go into later. Cause I don't think you really understood. I guess you still haven't understood what he was trying to imply with that. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. But either way, yeah, I am independent and I can be an independent woman. But when I made plans 2 years ago, I was making plans for myself. I wasn't thinking about the future with anybody else. I wasn't thinking of not living in LA or like, I was still thinking like I would be in LA and I would be living there because I didn't care how much I paid in rent. Like as long as I was there and I was like, happy and like living the good old single life, that's all I cared about. And, I wanted to be close to work and, I didn't even think about saving money and for like the future, I just wanted money now and like, right then and there, but I didn't think about saving money for the future for a home. I didn't think about buying a home at that time.
Not even close.
Shoot,
no. I'd be good with a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm set. I don't give a shit.
So
excuse me. Trying to curse less.
Yeah, we've been talking about him not cursing as much, which is really difficult. I was talking to my coworker about it this week, and I was like, he's like, you got to understand, like, when you grow up with that, like, his mom, I guess, like, would curse all the time. And
no, I mean, I would say when I was about 15 is when it kind of started. No, like
no, my
17.
coworker's mom.
Yeah.
He said that his mom would curse all the time. So he's like, for somebody who's grown up with it and who's heard it a lot, it's really hard to like just completely like stop at one point.
Right. It's
and
just
I was
a
like,
filler
then why
word.
are you teaching your son these bad words? He's the one that teaches his son bad words, and I'm like,
it's just it's like using like.
Yeah,
it's a filler word or like.
But
Except for you
like
can't do that in front of class when you have a presentation. You can't say fucking.
So that's like an offensive filler word. That just sounds like.
It does to certain people, and I mean, I
bad.
get it. It's abrasive to some people, and yeah, I totally get it. Especially in the business, like right now, I could do it at work, but it's a lot. It's very casual, and if we're like in the future, I want to be more professional. If I want to get paid more, and
you don't want to be in
I
a
can't
sales
be
meeting
just throwing out like fucking and thinking about shit and stuff.
Yeah, you can't be in a sales meeting and be like, yeah, like like the shit's really gonna blow up.
The shit's the bomb, dog.
Yeah, that's not cool.
No.
So yeah, we stepped a little bit away from our talk, but yeah, so
It happens.
That's
Just having a
what,
conversation here.
I know.
little back and forth, baby.
So yeah, that was I think that's both of us, like we both never like considered things when we made plans before.
Yeah, not even, yeah.
And
And now they're entirely different.
yes.
Like, and it's, I don't know if it's easier. I think it's just more difficult. It's worth it for sure, but it's more difficult to really make your own plans because they're not, you have to really consider like, okay, is this person going to be happy if we want to do this? And they're working in this location. We want to meet halfway. And it's a factor that it's going to get even more difficult when you like want to start a family or like you want to settle down in places where you can't just bounce around and shit. Like you want to, like I want to provide stability. So yeah, it's not easy. And then that kind of puts some good pressure on you.
I think your plans have changed the most too since we've met, because you went from wanting to be a software developer to just like you want to have a job, a steady job.
Yep.
That will pay you so you can have, so you can have a savings and so you can have a future with me. And so, we can get our life started. So I think your plans have changed the most.
Yeah.
My plans have been the biggest thing that's changed for my plans is I no longer live in LA, and I can't see myself 5 years or 10 years from now living in LA. Not just because it's not affordable, but I don't know, there's just like it's too much for, like, when you think of, because I'm thinking of like a family one day.
Right.
And when you meet people who have grown up in LA, kids grow up so quick in LA and are so advanced. And I feel like no matter what, they grow up quick. But I feel like if you like put them in that environment, it's going to be even more. So you consider all those things when you're making these plans. And
no, I don't feel like it's a comfortable place. Like I wouldn't want to live personally, just generally speaking, I wouldn't prefer to live in LA. Mm-hmm. Like if we're going to try to settle down somewhere for a while, like that's just doesn't sound like settling down like in a comfortable spot. Like,
yeah.
And when I say settle down, I just mean like really get comfortable where we're at, you know, for a while, like until like
planting roots somewhere.
Exactly. Like getting ready to officially go somewhere else. Like that's pretty much what an apartment is, a precursor to when you're in our relationship. It's a precursor to finding our own place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's too much going on in LA, and it's too much happening.
It's too tempting to go out and do shit and go spend money, go party, or go to beer tasting, or go to
and when I was single, it was okay, but right now it's just like I don't see it.
And I never thought really about saving at all until meeting you. Honestly,
I thought about saving, but I didn't I wasn't good at it, and I didn't get strict until now with it. So, that's like something big too. That like
I never planned on having a wedding. And that shit that stuff, excuse me,
is expensive.
Ooh,
we haven't even looked into it. We just know that that's what we want.
No, you looked into it.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
You
want it like laying down.
I've been looking into a wedding.
I like this color. I like this car. I kind of want it here. I want it. You just yesterday we were in freaking TJ Maxx. Oh, this dress, this would look good on me, right, for our wedding.
That was today at Ross.
Yeah, at Ross. Yeah, I felt you probably did yesterday too.
Yeah, possibly. A little bit. No, I was talking about wedding registry yesterday.
Yeah,
remember?
And then you're like, I wonder what your Uncle Dave's house looked like. I want to go check it out.
That was today.
Oh my goodness, my memory.
Well, I can't help but to think of weddings in general because I'm a girl. What girl doesn't think about her wedding?
That's a good question.
Every girl thinks about her wedding from like probably middle school and up.
Every girl.
And almost every girl, like 90% of girls.
That's a big number.
Even a girl like me who at one point was like, screw men. Like, what do I need a guy for? But I still thought about a wedding without the guy in the picture. I just thought about a pretty dress. A really
Hey,
cool
go ahead
party.
tell everybody about your ideal man you imagined.
Oh, no.
Tell them about it.
Why?
Her ideal man was tall, dark, right?
No, not necessarily dark. I've always liked the Caucasian type.
Tall, thin, and had long hair.
I didn't want thin.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you said thin. I swear there were 3 or 4 things. It wasn't 2.
Okay, I said tall, broad shoulders, and really nice hair.
And
And I got short
bald
shoulders and bald.
and shoulders. Hey, these shoulders are buff.
I don't know why that came up this week at work. It came up for some reason. I think we were talking about types, and
I'm
I
sitting
was
like
like,
this the rest of the day. By the way,
okay, yeah, sure.
okay, I give up.
We were talking about types for some reason, and I was like, yeah, I always imagine myself like this tall guy with really, really nice hair. Like, I love nice hair, but my boyfriend's bald.
I got nice armpit hair. Does that count?
No.
I shampoo it and I use conditioner on it.
No.
You like it though. You do.
I love your baldness.
No, I
Not
meant
your-
my armpits.
No, I don't like your armpits. It's gross.
Ah.
Yeah, so that was a plan of mine. My plan was to have a man
And
with
look
nice
at you
hair.
now.
So obviously, that's where I'm just like, that saying, God laughs at your plans. It's so true. He really does.
He really laughed hard
He
at
laughed
that one.
hard at that one. He was like, "Ha ha, sucker!" That's what he said to me. I could feel it.
Hey, I pictured though. I told you senior year in
what
college.
was what you wanted?
I didn't have. My main plan was I wanted to grow up, play video games. That's really it. I cooked probably. I got one of them, but yeah, I just pictured a girl with black hair. I told you that, like senior year in college. Mm-hmm. And look at me now. See, I got what I want pretty much. You got the shit end of the stick. Sorry.
I've got one thing. You're white,
I guess I'm like super white though.
and you have pretty
Did
eyes.
you imagine this white or just like
I
kinda
wanted
white?
pretty eyes too.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I got something.
So now y'all know what we look
I
like.
also
If you don't check out our
I also
YouTube,
wanted a guy with a full beard. And
yeah, I'm getting there.
It's a semi-full.
It's semi. I don't even want to look at myself in this camera. This is my good side. I have kind of a beard on one side.
But aside from that, it doesn't matter. Looks don't even matter because it's what's inside that really matters.
Oh, and inside you is beautiful.
And inside you is beautiful too.
Okay, we're gonna. All right. All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah. So plans, decision making.
no, we do. We go into like what we take into account now, and I feel like there's a few things we're kind of missing. I mean, what do you think the biggest changes though in as far as your plans? The biggest, most one you've like maybe never expected.
The biggest change.
Biggest change for decision making, like when you make this, like what do you consider most when you make your decisions?
I have to consider you, not just myself.
like that's your biggest
From like the smallest decisions, like even you have to consider me sometimes because you're like, hey, I'm gonna grab dinner. Do you want it dinner? Or
it's daily. It's like
a daily. You have to consider
Mhm.
what is Jackie gonna want. From you put like biggest and smallest. The smallest is so true because okay, if I'm gonna make plans with a friend this week, I have to consider you in those plans because what if you had planned something or what if you wanted to do something on
Yeah,
Saturday?
right.
If you just
I don't got no plans.
Well, you never
Shit.
know.
Overwatch is my plan.
Or what if you had a plan to just like, like you wanted to have a full day of Jackie?
I've got plenty of those recently. It's been pretty chill.
Yeah. So, from the smallest to the biggest plans.
Yeah,
And
like
you
for
have
me,
to
it's
you have
like
to think about the other person, your significant other.
if I want to stay up late, can't do that because it's like no, I need to wake up early and be able to make Jackie a wonderful breakfast.
which I'm sure was not part of his plans.
Not
2 years
even
ago.
close. Like my whole family was shocked. Like, wait, you wake up at 4 a.m? You really love this girl, don't you? Like, Jason, you're not a morning person at all. And they're like, you freaking love this girl. I was like, yeah, duh.
It is.
Yeah, but it honestly it helps me a lot. Like because I want to be able to. I like staying up early in the morning because the house is quiet. It's relaxing. Once I get up and then I make you something, I'm awake. Not just like how before when we were waking up and I would just go make you coffee and I would just be half asleep the whole time. So
And then you just go back to sleep. It was easy for you to go back to sleep.
easy. Now it's like no, I'm up.
By the way, this week I want an egg sandwich with turkey sausage.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even eat breakfast. That's what I wish I did.
I love breakfast. It's so yummy.
I only like breakfast when it's French toast or pancakes. So let's move on from that. I ain't making pancakes. That's too early. I gotta wake up like an hour
I don't want
early.
pancakes that early. But anyways, yeah, you have to consider, and that's things that you.
What kind of
didn't-
like if you go to the store every time you go to the store getting like shampoo, you got to remember like
Oh
Does
yeah.
Jackie need anything?
Exactly. When you go to the store, you have to plan like, okay, like you have to think about and consider your significant other. You have to think, okay, I'm at the grocery store. Do you need anything? What do you want? You know, when you're going grocery shopping, you know, you have to consider that stuff. So it's from like the biggest things, from like life plans to like the smallest things.
Sometimes
You're
I
no
fall out of
longer
that for sure.
you're
Like
definitely no longer planning for just
I
yourself.
forget to like. Sometimes I do forget because I'll just get in my own head like, oh shit, I'm gonna enjoy this afternoon. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna go home, watch some like what show I'm trying to see, and then go play a game. And then like I'm all excited about that, and then I do forget sometimes, which is kind of like I feel like a dickhead. But yeah, you know, you're working on it. It's trying to make it natural. You know, just like cursing. You gotta remember to not curse, which is really difficult. But for you, it's really easy, and you're just looking at me like you did
To not curse.
and to remember me.
Well, of course, you're like the most important person in my life. Besides, you know, it goes like I told you, it goes Brody.
Your nephew is I don't like him anymore.
Than you. Yeah,
We
you
were
do.
bald and like brothers pretty much, and
And now he has more hair than you.
he's got more hair than me, and he's like a year old. Yeah, I
It's
suck.
so cute.
Yeah, he's like a little model.
He really is.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, future
The future.
baby, we're gonna have our own little munchkin. Remember, it's gonna be a boy, probably.
It's gonna be a
but
girl.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we talk about that. And I feel like sometimes when I say like, you know, oh yeah, we talk about family and we talk about wedding, I feel like people are like, dude, you've been dating for like a second. Why did you talk about that? I think it's important to establish those things in your relationship.
No, I don't.
Because-
Maybe it's probably different for a lot of people. I think that personally, I'm comfortable doing it with you because I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I knew that, as crazy as it might sound, like within the first month, I just knew. Like I never felt that like how I do with you with any other person, like ever. I was like, yep, this is the one. I wanted to say I love you within like.
Yeah, and some people think that's crazy though. Some people are like, oh, like
Hey, we all need a little crazy.
Are you
though.
engaged or something? And I'm like, no, I just know that this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with, and who I like want to marry, and who I want to have a family with. And so, yeah, we definitely like go into that, and I feel like I personally think about that stuff and plan things with that stuff in consideration now. With the fact that I want to have a wedding, so I need to make a little more money than what I'm making right now.
Yeah, and like where
You
I'm
know?
working too, like
Because although, yeah, like, you know, sorry.
yeah. See, we both do it. I'm not lying. But like, yeah. I mean, even with my job, just like your job, I'm like, you're starting to consider like, okay, like, is this where I want to be if I start a family? Same thing for me. Like, I don't know if my job, because it's growing really quickly, because it started off as like a small company. And yeah, like it's growing so rapidly. Like he could just move out of the state in a year or two from now. Like, okay, well then I might have. I don't even know if I'd love to keep the job, but I don't know if I could because I want to make sure you're happy. And I wouldn't want to just
Yeah.
take you somewhere. Like I have to fully consider you. Like
I think
so.
more than ever right now too, it's hit me that I finally have found what exactly the exact story that I'm gonna tell. And I've been like going back and forth with these things for years. And I know now that that's gonna be the way for me to make the money that I want to make. And, you know, here you are like talking about like how you want to like save all this money and you want to make more money because you're also thinking about our future and making all these plans.
First thing is a wedding too. Shoot, like you want to have a wedding. I'm like, I can save like if once we move out, I can save maybe $250 a month where I'm at. There's no way. It's going to take us so long. Weddings are expensive. They can be cheap, but like.
They can be cheap.
But goodness gracious, what you're looking
I'm
at.
I'm going to try to keep it as cheap as possible.
That's another thing we got to really come do like a full legit plan of like, if you really want this to happen, when like that's something I have to consider in my decision making if I want to marry you. I am. When am I going to do it? Because when I propose to you, like, I don't want to wait 2 or 3 years I don't want to wait to try to marry you. And then I want to wait for all that stuff because I want to make you happy and I want to do it when it feels right. Not like, oh, I have to wait till I can afford it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something everybody has to consider, but I just want to get to that point as fast as I can and be able to just.
Like you don't want to have a long engagement basically.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. Yeah. That makes sense. I like the fact that you want to propose and then not wait too long to get married.
Right? Because shit, taco truck, In-N-Out truck, ice cream
I think
shop.
we should just get rid of the In-N-Out truck and just have one
soda
or the
machine,
other. And I think the
10
Taco Man
bars.
is just top notch.
Yeah.
Because I think the two things is too much going on.
And we get to do like, don't we have to like do rehearsals, and like we should do 5 rehearsals? We'll have the food set
We
up
have to
there,
have
too.
a rehearsal dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to pay for that too. And for food for the next day.
Oh, that's gonna be bum.
Yeah. But
That's the only reason why I want to marry
because of
Taco
tacos?
Man.
That's the only reason you want to marry me?
I mean, you smell like tacos a lot.
I said we
so-
wouldn't get into a fight today.
Oh shit. Okay.
Jeez.
I love you.
Better. For what reasons? Because I smell like tacos?
And you make really delicious tacos and anything. You make such good food.
I make good tacos. I've never made tacos before.
Yeah, you have.
When?
I thought you made them with my mom before. You probably can though. I mean,
I
just by
definitely can.
looking at you.
Yeah, I definitely can. I did make carne asada that one time. And the rice and the beans.
Yeah.
But anyways.
She's got it going on.
Yes, I do. So, what were we talking about? Why did we get into the wedding thing?
Because that's a decision I got to start working on in the future. And then figuring out how the hell. Another thing you brought up too is like, I don't remember how long ago it was, a couple of months ago, I guess. You were like, yeah, you're talking about a house. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did you think about a house? Like,
Because I'm thinking about a house.
still living in my fucking my F-wording my parents' house.
Because those are things that, like, when you're in love with somebody and you're planning a future with this person, those are things that you start thinking about. You start thinking about a home, and you start thinking about how my biggest reason that I think about a home is because I don't want renting is great for a while, but if you're renting for 7-10 years, you're throwing away thousands and thousands of dollars that can go towards a home.
I've never thought of that, like literally never. And I really talk about all this stuff with our like wedding. I can't picture any of that. Like, it's so hard for me to picture that stuff because it changes. Like, everything in my life has almost never gone according to plan. I mean, it's gone well for the most
So
part.
you can't picture marrying me?
I honestly can't. I mean, I want to because I love you
That's so sad.
forever. Why is that sad?
Because
I'm like worried about right now. Like, I'm telling you, I can't even picture us moving out yet, even though we're getting really close to it. I don't picture those things. I personally, I focus on like what's in front of me for the next maybe couple weeks or the month, you know. But
when you say you can't picture doing something, it comes off really bad. It comes off like you're just saying like.
So you don't know what I mean.
I'm just saying. I'm understanding now what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't think about that stuff, and you don't want to think about that. Like you're not thinking about it because it's so far in the future.
Yeah, I just can't picture it. I can't really
but it
visualize
comes off like you can't picture it. Like you can't picture.
I
like,
can't visualize
being-
that. I should have said
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's a better way
So-
to put it. See, just a little miscommunications. That's why we have these talks, because
so
I could.
'Cause you
plenty
saying
of
you
times
can't
where we don't
picture-
have it on the podcast where I say those kind of things, and you just get very upset, and then there's just the period of recovery, but learning.
yeah.
But yeah, we're doing it on here, and there's another thing. It's just visualize. I've noticed too, I don't use the right terminology sometimes where I think I totally am. I try to be as descriptive as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you say you can't picture that just comes off so bad. I'm like,
Visualize.
okay, here you are saying you want to marry me, but you can't picture marrying me. Like that sounds so bad.
I love you.
Jeez.
But she knows
I
it though.
think-
That's
I
why.
think
That's why
you're
you're not
just-
worried, because you know it.
I think you're just so you're so concerned about right now and the plans for the next month that you can't. It's hard for you to plan for the future and really think about that right now.
Right.
But I think it's important to think about that stuff and
Yeah.
to have that in the back of your head because
Definitely
really
is.
5 years is like right around the corner.
That's why I'm working at getting a raise as fast as I can. I'm working as hard as I can whenever I'm there and trying to work even more.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, on the way home Friday, so Friday night, we looked at this new place in Irvine. It's like a thing we might do some business plans, and it'd be a sick new development. I'm like really stoked. I hope it goes through. But like on the way home, thinking about my own rate and where I'm at now, I'm like, dude, like we live now, my parents live, my mom and dad, it's awesome. Like I love the location. It's really comfortable. I love it here. Maybe just because I grew up here. But to get something like this, if not better, it's gonna take me way longer than I want it to. So I put that into perspective, at least just the number wise, and make like that's what I can visualize at least. I can't really visualize where I'd be, but I just know for a fact that like I need to push even harder. So
Yeah. And it also,
because of you, because I love you.
Thinking about like, for me, thinking about like wanting to own a home makes me, I see you over here like working on like getting a raise and, working on getting more money. And I'm like, what am I doing? I love my job, but I don't know. Sometimes I think, can I see myself in there in 5 to 10 years? And is there really more room for growth? And
I've asked you that before too.
yeah, and although there might be, it's a very, very slight chance. And I just don't want it to be like 10 years from now, I'm still there. And, we're trying to start a family and I can't afford to start a family. Or, I'm doing that. And so it's just really difficult. And so it makes you think of things that like, if I wasn't thinking about that stuff right now and it was just me and I was just planning for myself, it would be very different. And I probably wouldn't even be considering that. And I'd just be like totally cool and nonchalant with where I'm at. But yeah, it definitely, this week has things have lit a fire under me. And
Which is good.
yeah, it's very good.
Especially since you worked out 5 days in a row this week.
Oh yeah.
Like you can definitely tell, at least maybe that's what's helped you to really kind of think of that through, because you've just been going. So then you start to think more into that.
I'm really proud of myself. I've been really consistent with the working out thing.
Me too. I only went twice this week. I try to go every other day, but then that means I have to go once on the weekend, which like I usually never want to, because I just want to at least spend as much time as I can with you.
The only thing I want to do on the weekends as far as working out wise is going for walks. That's the only thing I'd like. But if it's with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's another little decision making, because it's like weekend plans. What are we going to do? I have to make decisions to see like how am I going to be able to balance what I want to do with what she wants to do, to where like we're both good, and I kind of just leave it all up to you. Like, what do you want to do? Usually I have plans and shit and stuff, excuse me. But yeah.
But you can make plans too for our weekend. You can find something to do for our weekend.
This podcast is always one of them. Bada bing, baby.
But you can find something else more creative to do.
Yeah, Pinterest. Shouts out to Pinterest.
Don't ask your girlfriend, what should I do for our picnic? How should I set it up? What should I get? How about you go on Pinterest, gather all the things you know about your girlfriend, and do it yourself?
I didn't ask all those questions, though. I knew where I was going to go. All I asked was, what kind of food were you thinking about? Like, what kind of food sounded good? Initially, all I was going to do, like, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to do it now because I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. Or will I? I don't know. I was going to do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because, like, literally the first day we met that night, she was just like, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now, because we were drinking a lot, and then she was hungry. Yeah, and she's asked for it at least once a month. And I've delivered maybe twice, I think.
I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That with some almond milk.
Yeah.
And Lay's.
Yeah. No.
No Lay's?
No, just the Sammy and the milk, and that's it.
There you go.
But yeah.
But I want to make it better. But yeah, pretty much I'm finding out
that's
in a relationship, girls like, or at least you like, you just want it all up to me. Like, you don't want to tell me what
I want. Some things to be up to you, because you should know me at this point well enough.
Yeah.
To where you can plan things for me.
Yeah, because I just operate differently. Like, yeah, I'm just like, I like this and this and this and that, and it's just like, I don't want to be surprised. This is what I want.
You don't have to surprise me.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. Like,
you can tell me. You can tell me,
good?
Hey, we're going to a picnic this week. I'm going to make this, and this. Is that cool? Yeah, for sure. Sounds great.
That's probably exactly what you'll say too. All right, there we go. So, date set. You all see it.
Okay.
You'll see it on our Instagram. Go to j2talks.com.gov.ww.
Are we up and running on our website?
No, we are. I mean, it's ready to go, but yeah, it costs money. Got to put up money. Then we got to be able to have some clothing to put up there too if people want to pre-order
But
that
it'll
stuff.
totally be worth it when we do put up money for it.
Yeah, and I'm working on a few designs too that look pretty sick. And we're always looking to collaborate. If you want to be on the show, we can do maybe a remote podcast. That'd be pretty fun. Go to our Facebook, J2 Talks, or Instagram. Go to our Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. iHeartRadio. We're on iHeartRadio now.
That's so exciting.
We're legit.
Maybe we'll get nominated for an iHeartRadio award
for being.
For podcast. They have a podcast award thing.
We'll be up there.
Yeah.
The best up and comers of 2020.
Yeah.
It's a good year
really
to be
exciting.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
So, yeah. Thanks
Love
for
you all.
listening to us banter on about plans and other etc.
Banta.
And also, our hearts go out to the Kobe Bryant,
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
it's weird. Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. It is
hearing
really
all
weird.
that stuff.
It's sad.
It was just like I was shocked and I didn't believe it. Then like I realized it. It didn't really hit me until I saw like they showed the plane crash like live, and I was like, then I started
When you
picturing
first
them
said it, I
in
was
the
like,
helicopter.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, our hearts
sad
go
stuff.
and prayers go out to them and to his wife and both mothers, because all the family's actually involved. It's really sad. So
Yeah.
all right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Yep. That's episode 14. Talks about how plans change in a relationship. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you liked it. If you got any comments, suggestions, you want to let us know what we should talk about on episode 15, send us a message on our Facebook, Instagram, on our YouTube. Leave us a comment. We got action shots going on. We got a live video now. It's magical. It's magical. So, that's going to be it. Thank you for tuning in. Love you all. Balance and love. Bye-bye.